It's been a long time. You know what? I'll let these credits play out, and then let's talk. Hi there, everyone. Your Pyral here with another vlog. So, I finally beat Tears of the Kingdom. It's been a long time coming. The game came out last year, and I pretty much played it non-stop until I think until the second part of the Scarlet and Violet DLC came out. I got the game, or I got Tears of the Kingdom at launch, and then yeah, I did a lot in the game, and recently, probably like within the past like month or two, I've gotten back into playing it, and I resumed where I left off. When I stopped playing the game back last year, I did, I want to say like 90% of what I wanted to do in the game. I did all of the main story objectives aside from beating the final boss. I did nearly every quest when I stopped playing, and like nearly every side adventure. And then I took a break because a lot of the stuff I wanted to do just required some grinding. So, yeah. When I resumed playing, I I finished basically doing what I wanted to do. I did not 100% the game because that would have taken a lot of time. You know, for some reason, the phone that I have, it always likes to activate the robot assistant whenever I say stuff that is not related to it. But anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, I did a lot in the game, but not everything. I did not find all the Korok seeds for one. I did that when I last played through Breath of the Wild, which was also in Master Mode, but that was not necessary, and I think my total Korok seed count in this game is like 200 or 300 something. So I didn't even max out my inventory slot upgrades, but not concerned with that. But yeah. And when I first played the game, or Tears of the Kingdom, at least, I did everything that I could without looking anything up. So for what I was able to do, am I'm satisfied with what I did not looking anything up. I completed like a majority of the quests in the game without looking anything up, and I upgraded a lot of my equipment without having to just farm enemies and waiting for like blood moons and whatnot, because that was one of the things that was that I that's one of the reasons why I took a break, because grinding for enemy equipment to upgrade your armor is very time consuming and tedious. But yeah, I did not finish upgrading everything. When I resumed playing Tears of the Kingdom this year, my goal was to finish the remaining quests that I didn't do. So that means like side quests, side adventures. The only one I did not complete was filling out the Hyrule Compendium, which is the taking pictures of everything. I'm missing like 50 things, which again, without looking anything up, that's pretty solid. And I know I could just buy the rest of the pictures that I'm missing, but I don't want to do that. So like in my off time, if I have nothing else that I want to play, I could just pop in Tears of the Kingdom and try to look for those. And then as for armor, I did not upgrade everything to the max. I upgraded the majority of the things, but at the very least, the bare minimum for every piece of armor that could be upgraded, I upgraded to 2 stars because I wanted the set bonuses for everything. So yeah, that's a thing. And yeah, all the quests are done. I found all the bubble gems, which means I found every cave, and that was not that time consuming, actually. When I resumed playing, there was probably like I think 16 caves that I didn't find because bubble gems are things that you find in caves. So, however many there are in the game, like finding almost all but 16 of them without looking it up was felt pretty nice. Same with the wells. There's a quest in the game where you have to go through every well in Hyrule, and I was only missing 10 of them when I came back from my Tears of the Kingdom break. So I don't know how many are in the game, but like finding all but 10 of them without a guide was also nice. And then quests, there wasn't that many that were left for me to do. And yeah. As for the game itself, I enjoyed playing it a lot. Oh, I also maxed out my battery. That's the thing I did. Of course, I found every shrine, every light route, and all that stuff. It's just filling out the compendium and getting the Korok seeds and upgrading my armor. I think that's all I need to do left. But in terms of the game, I very much enjoyed it. The gameplay is amazing. What they were able to do with the Zonai devices and using things like fusing items together with Ultra Hand and whatnot. That was a ton of fun, and the game doesn't force you to use that kind of stuff, but when you do use it, you have so much potential to do things for like solving puzzles, navigating the world. It's pretty impressive what they were able to do. For example, I'm pulling from memory because I completed like all the shrines before my Tears of the Kingdom break last year. But yeah, you could solve puzzles in a myriad of different ways. For example, you could solve a puzzle the intended way. You could cheese it with rewind, provided like the puzzle gives you the things to do so. Or you could find like some kind of alternative method. Specifically, there's one I remember where you could use a bomb arrow instead of doing the shrine the intended way. I also remember there's a lot of shrines that are basically freebies where the game just gives you the light blessing instead of giving you like an actual puzzle. There seemed to be a lot more of that than there were in Breath of the Wild, if memory serves. But yeah, being able to explore the sky kind of got stale a little bit after a while, but I mean it was still kind of fun. The depths were neat to navigate, and I like how it's basically like inverted Hyrule. So like where a mountain would be in the surface, instead of like being in a mountain, it'd just be like descending. It'd be like a giant pit. So that was neat once I like put that connection together. The puzzles were pretty creative. Combat was pretty much the same as in Breath of the Wild, but being able to fuse items together made for a neat addition, especially with like using arrows. The added enemies were really cool, especially the Gleeoks. Probably my favorite like overworld boss to fight. But yeah. I do feel the story is a weak part of the game, especially because after every dungeon you essentially see the same cutscene again and again. But I mean, Zelda isn't really known for having a good story sometimes, and the gameplay I feel is like the more appealing part for Zelda games, at least for me. But yeah, great final boss fight. There's a part in the final boss fight where I was like, dang, I'm reminded of a certain part of Dragon Quest IX. not gonna spoil it, but that was the very first thing that came to my mind, and yeah. I will admit though, I know I complained a little bit about the story, but that at least only is really when it comes to beating like the main dungeons of the game. The story that you get like through this game's equivalent of memories, I felt was fantastic, but I do wish that there's actually some gameplay related to those memories, because I'm going to be spoiling things a little bit. You get to see a little bit of ancient Hyrule, and that would have been cool to explore, but you only really get to see it in cutscenes. But yeah. Overall, fun game. I'm not quite sure where I would compare this with the Breath of the Wild in terms of my personal rankings of Zelda games. Because Breath of the Wild, I feel, just had more of an impact, at least for me. But maybe that's because I've had time to sit with Breath of the Wild, and Tears of the Kingdom is essentially an upgraded version of Breath of the Wild in a lot of aspects, but still fun experience, gameplay solid, and yeah. I just wish I was creative when it came to making things with the Zonai devices, because I've seen videos of people like making giant aircrafts or making robots, and I'm like, how do people do that? Or like making death traps for enemies. I don't know. If you look up some of the contraptions people make on Tears of the Kingdom, it can get pretty fun just watching what people can do when they are given essentially free reign to do whatever they want. But yeah. Yeah. Seeing the changes to Hyrule in Tears of the Kingdom compared to Breath of the Wild was also pretty neat. Although a lot of it did feel like you were, like, if you did play Breath of the Wild, it feels like you're retreading old ground a lot of the time, which is why I guess they give you the option to use like Zonai devices to make traveling easier. But yeah, I don't know. I could just ramble on and on about the game, but the takeaway from it is that I had a ton of fun, and now I'll play Tears of the Kingdom every now and then if I want to just slowly inch my way towards 100%. I'll look up like the remaining Koroks that I'm missing, though I don't really think I'm gonna to get all of them because it's not really worth it. But yeah, I could finally put Tears of the Kingdom away and put something else on my Switch that I could focus on, like Dragon Quest 9, not 9, 11, Tales of Vesperia. I can resume playing Persona 5 Royal, because, yeah, I haven't really, played it in a while. Anyways, yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. Talk about Tears of the Kingdom. Don't spoil things, and if you do want to spoil it, put, like, a spoiler alert in your comment or something, but, yeah. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching, and see you next time for another vlog. Later.